So, the chatter around AI taking jobs, it's definitely getting louder. It feels like a real concern for a lot of people now.
Yeah, it's understandable. You see AI popping up more and more in, our actual day-to-day work. It's not just theory anymore.
Which brings us to the big question we want to dig into today. Is AI really coming for your job? And maybe more importantly, for you listeners who are always learning, what can you actually do about it?
Well, our guide for this is a really interesting piece from Fast Company. It's called 10 Ways to Avoid Losing Your Job to AI, published May 5th, 2025.
And the authors, Katarina Berg and Dr. Thomas Chamorro, pre-music, they've got serious credentials: HR, leadership, innovation, business psychology. They know this space.
Exactly. They have deep insights into where work is heading.
So our mission here is pretty straightforward. Pull out the practical, actionable stuff from their article. We want to give you clear steps to, navigate this whole AI shift without feeling totally overwhelmed.
Sounds good. Let's maybe start with how this story around AI and jobs has changed a bit. I mean, remember the initial idea? It was comforting, wasn't it?
Yeah, the whole AI won't take your job, but a human using AI will line.
Right.
Hmm.
But the article suggests that might be a little, well, naive is the word they use.
Okay. So what's the alternative view then?
They talk about this more subtle thing, a silent, pervasive creep of AI. It's not robots marching in, it's more like software agents just handling tasks.
Like what kind of tasks?
Well, stuff you might not even think about. Booking meetings automatically, drafting initial reports, handling basic emails, even feeding into decisions.
So it's slipping into the workflow almost unnoticed.
Pretty much. And they even mention AI deepfakes being used for meetings. That really makes you think about what presence even means at work now.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
So AI is becoming less of a tool we choose to use and more just part of the background plumbing.
Sort of, yeah. And that leads directly to this concept they call the productivity paradox.
All right, the productivity paradox. Tell me more about that. What's the core idea?
The tension is basically this. The more we rely on AI to be super productive, really efficient, the more vulnerable we might actually become to being replaced by it.
How so?
Think about GPS. Rely on it all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and your own sense of direction might get weaker, right?
Yeah.
Or constantly looking stuff up on your phone instead of remembering it.
Okay, I see. The tools that help us can unintentionally weaken the underlying skills.
Precisely. You become hyper-efficient at the tasks AI assists with, which, ironically, might make the AI look like the better long-term bet for the company doing just those tasks.
The article quotes Scott Galloway calling AI corporate Ozempic, boosts output, but maybe suppresses deeper thinking. That fits here.
It really does. And it connects to their next point, the danger of focusing only on efficiency.
Because if your value is just about speed and doing things the same way every
You
time,
start looking like a template, and templates, they're
yeah,
prime candidates for automation.
makes sense. But, and this is important, they're not saying don't use AI, are they?
No, not at all. That's crucial. It's not about avoiding the tools. The real question is, what do you do with the time and mental space that AI frees up?
Okay. And this is where they bring in the managerial leg.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That Deloitte survey finding, it's pretty stark. You've got, what, 94% of execs saying AI will drastically change work?
But only 17% actually have a clear plan for how to manage that transition. That's a huge gap.
A massive gap. But here's the flip side. That gap is actually an opportunity for you, the individual.
How so?
Because if leadership doesn't have a rigid plan yet, it creates space for you to take initiative. You can start shaping your role, developing these AI-resistant skills now without waiting for some top-down directive.
Proactive adaptation. Okay, so that leads us perfectly into the 10 strategies the article lays out. What's number one?
Number one is reinvest the time saved by AI.
Okay, so when AI handles some routine task, don't just take a longer coffee break.
Well, maybe sometimes. But the point is to be intentional. Use that freed up capacity for things only humans can do really well.
Things
Like building stronger client relationships, mentoring junior colleagues, tackling those messy, complex problems that require real judgment, empathy, nuance. Stuff AI just isn't good at.
got it. Human-centric work. What's strategy number two?
Bridge communication gaps. Think about where AI struggles.
Nuance, tone, understanding the unspoken stuff in a conversation.
Exactly. Humor, emotional intelligence. AI isn't there. So if you can be the person who translates between, say, the super technical folks and the business side, or who really gets the underlying dynamics in a team, that's hugely valuable.
Being the human translator, I like that. Okay, number three.
Combine skills uniquely. They talk about being a generalist with spikes.
A generalist with spice. What does that look like?
It means having a broad base of knowledge, but also deep expertise in a couple of specific, maybe even unusual areas. You blend competencies.
So you're not just easily categorized. AI is often good at narrow things, right? So if you
Yeah.
mix different skills,
You create a professional profile that's much harder for any single AI model to replicate. It's about crafting your own unique value proposition.
makes sense. Creating a unique blend. What's number 4?
Embrace unpredictability. Routine is automation fuel.
So shake things up.
Basically, yes.
Good.
Introduce variety, experiment, try new approaches, work on cross-disciplinary projects, tackle complex, non-standard problems. Anything that breaks the predictable pattern makes your work harder to automate.
Fight the routine. Got it. Number 5.
This one's fundamental. Strengthen emotional intelligence,
The human stuff again. Empathy, persuasion.
adaptability, conflict resolution, influencing others. These are core human skills. AI is miles away from replicating genuine emotional intelligence. Investing here is always a good bet.
Seems critical. Okay, number 6.
Own niche domain knowledge. Become the go-to expert in a very specific area.
Why niche?
Because deep expertise often requires real-world context, historical understanding, nuanced judgment based on experience things AI struggles with because it lacks that lived experience. Think specialized industries, complex regulations, areas with deep cultural context.
Where deep understanding beats broad data processing.
Right.
Number 7.
Invest in your personal brand. And this isn't just about bragging online.
No, what's the angle then?
It's about visibility and building trust. Writing, speaking, sharing your thinking, it makes you known. People hire and keep individuals they know whose thinking they value, not just a list of skills AI might also have. It creates options.
Being known for how you think, not just what you can do. Okay. Number 8.
Someone's pragmatic.
Sure.
Master AI tools in your domain.
Wait, so embrace the very thing we're worried about.
Yes, but strategically. Don't fear the tools. Become the person who understands them best in your field. Be the AI literate expert.
The go-to person for how to use AI effectively in our specific context.
Exactly. As they say, if you understand the tools and can leverage them, you're promoting AI, not being replaced by it. You become indispensable because of AI, not despite it.
Interesting twist. Okay, number 9.
Be the human in the loop. This is critical. Even sophisticated AI needs oversight.
Editing, refining, validating AI outputs.
Yes, checking for errors, biases, making judgment calls AI can't. That need for human oversight, for critical thinking and ethical considerations is only going to grow. Your judgment becomes a key asset.
The final quality check, the sanity check, makes sense. And the last one, number 10.
Stay curious and adaptable. This is maybe the most important mindset shift.
They call it a cognitive revolution, right? What does that mean practically?
It means your ability to learn, and just as importantly, to unlearn old ways and adapt quickly, is becoming more valuable than any fixed skill set you currently possess. Lifelong learning isn't a cliche anymore, it's a survival skill.
Wow. Okay, so continuous evolution is key. The article wraps up with an analogy, doesn't it? The dodo bird.
Yeah, it's a pretty stark warning.
What's the message there?
Well, the dodo strategy was basically just exist and hope the new arrivals, humans, wouldn't bother it. Didn't work out too well. The point is, hoping AI will just pass you by, ignoring your role. That's the dodo strategy. It's passive and likely just as doomed in the face of this kind of change. You can't just stand still and hope for the best.
You need to be proactive, engage with the change, adapt.
That's the core takeaway. You need to actively evolve your skills and where you focus your energy.
And that final thought they leave us with is powerful, that right now you're standing somewhere between irreplaceable and obsolete.
Yeah, and where you end up on that spectrum really depends on the choices you start making now.
So to sum it all up,
Yeah.
yes, AI is a huge shift, a potential disruption, but this deep dive shows you're not powerless.
Absolutely not. If you focus on these uniquely human skills, if you actively apply these kinds of strategies, you have real agency. You can take concrete steps to, future-proof your career as much as possible.
You don't have to feel overwhelmed. These 10 points are practical things you can start thinking about, start doing.
So maybe the question to leave you is this. Thinking about those 10 strategies, which one really clicks with your situation right now? And what's one small thing, one concrete step you could take, maybe even today, to start adapting, to start moving faster than the landscape is changing around you?
Something to really mull over.